Welcome back. We're talking right now with incumbent school committeeman Joseph Bevilacqua. Welcome to the program, Joe.
Thank you for having me, Frank.
You are running for how many terms? This is your next term is how many terms?
My third.
Your third term as a school committeeman for the Behavioral School Committee. And what can you tell us in the course of maybe what your experience has been in the Behavioral School Committee and what you've seen so far, the different things you've gone for? What can voters look to expect based upon what you see as a vision for the city's educational system?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and thank you to the voters for considering me for a re-election to the school committee. I believe I have the most unique set of qualifications and experience that makes a difference in the Haverhill Public School Committee as it relates to educating their children and their grandchildren and protecting your tax dollars. First of all, I'm a former 10-year member of the Board of Trustees of Northern Essex Community College, so I understand the transition that our kids will face moving from high school into college. I'm the former City of Haverhill Planning and Economic Development Director, so I understand our city. I know the City of Haverhill. I serve as chairman of the Merrimack Valley United Way campaign, so I understand the needs of some people that need assistance today. I serve as chairman of the Merrimack Valley Workforce Investment Board and the co-chair of the Massachusetts State Workforce Investment Board. What that gives me is a unique understanding of what the jobs are going to require in terms of education and skills, so that our kids that are in school today, in the very earliest grades all the way to the high school, need to be ready so they can have not just a job, but a career of their choice. I understand all that. I served on the school building committee for our newest schools, Pentucket Lake, Silver Hill, Golden Hill, and Bradford Elementary. So I know what it's going to take to build the new Hunking School at a price affordable to the taxpayers of the city of Haverhill. I attended Haverhill Public Schools. I went to Tilton, as you hear me say at the school committee meetings, Tilton. I attended Hunking School and Haverhill High School. My kids went to Nettle and Golden Hill. My wife went to Nettle, and all of them went to Haverhill High School. All my family is educated in Haverhill. I believe in Haverhill education. What I think I bring is a unique set of experiences in business, government, and education that's made a difference. And Frank, one of the best examples of what I did in terms of working together with the people of the city of Haverhill, listening to the people of the city of Haverhill, was when the override for the Haverhill High School failed. I offered a solution before the vote was taken to do phased renovation with state reimbursement. Everyone said it couldn't be done, Frank. But I said, in the event this doesn't go forward, the debt exclusion vote, consider my proposal. I was the only one that suggested that, Frank. And exactly the way in which I suggested is how the high school, in fact, proceeded. Phased renovation, and the state did, in fact, provide reimbursement. Now, that's just an example. I've suggested, for example, for the Hunking School, I wanted the joint meeting between the school building committee and the school committee so we can have an open discussion, and that's how it was done, and that resulted in the school committee's unanimous vote for the new Hunking School. I offered the suggestion for not buying our computers, because we all know that the minute you buy a computer, it's already outdated, but to lease computers. And that's how the school department is doing it today. I've also suggested and started the advent for electronic textbooks. In fact, through your Rotary and other charitable organizations, we've actually received donations from private sources to buy our electronic textbooks. That's the wave of the future. You know, I've suggested a number of other options. I suggested and wanted the MCAS workshop, which we held on a Saturday, so the public could attend with the administrators and the teachers and the school committee to learn what was being done to advance our students' interest in better preparing them for MCAS. There's a host of ideas that I've offered over the years, and obviously I believe my experience in business, government, and education makes a difference, and it'll make a difference in the more critical future. This economy is not turned around. State and federal funds are dwindling. They're not going to get better. We all see what's happening right now. As we speak, government is shut down. You need someone with the financial experience that I have, with the background that I have in business, government, education, to help move our Haverhill School Committee forward, because the kids and the children that are there today, they're our future. And their elevation into society for a career of their choice, and not just a job, Frank, but a career, is dependent upon their education. You know, I also serve, as you know, as president of the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce. I have an opportunity to interact with over 1,000 businesses throughout the Merrimack Valley, including Haverhill. They tell me what the education requirements are going to be for the jobs they'll have, not just today, but more importantly, tomorrow. I want to make sure the kids in the city of Haverhill, and I call them kids respectfully, are ready for that challenge. I'm confident they will be. In fact, as you know, one example is the Haverhill High School is now fully accredited. And that's an example of how we move forward. And our kids are doing better, and we need to make sure that we can continue to afford education in the city of Haverhill.
Let me ask you a question, Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem. But let me just ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Given your tenure, when you started in the Haverhill School Committee, and from today, if we're not talking about buildings, and I understand based upon accreditation, we're talking about buildings, we're talking about maintenance, and I understand how those physical things go. But what I'm interested in right now is to see what you can tell us relative to what the students are receiving today versus what they were receiving, say, in a few years ago, and what they should expect to be receiving as time goes on,
Excellent.
from a curriculum
Well,
standpoint.
That's an excellent question. In fact, let me tell you some of the things that happened in the past that is not happening today, to the negative, but also some of the positive aspects. First of all, there was so much discussion about what we weren't doing that we weren't able to focus on what we were doing correctly. There was, I think, a lack of leadership with our superintendents in the past. I think today, Superintendent Scully, I was president of the school committee when we hired him, has done a tremendous job. There was discontentment among the teachers. I was president of the school committee when we signed the new teachers contract. We didn't give away the store, but the teachers now have a new contract. I was president of the school committee. The other thing that's happening is that you're seeing more attention focused on technology in education today. That's a trend for the future that's going to continue to advance, so you're seeing us be more aware of that. You're, I think, seeing more attention to education focus, so that student achievement is now the mandated #1 issue in education, which is something that I've advocated for all along. I've always said it wasn't the buildings, it's what was happening inside the classroom. It's the teacher in front of the blackboard teaching our kids. I've always said that's the most important part of education in the entire system, and you're seeing that today. We're having regular reports from the superintendent now talking about those new initiatives that are taking place. Maintenance. We now are, in fact, maintaining our school buildings. I used to argue about the point that our school buildings were not being maintained. We didn't explore opportunities for free and reduced costs for utilities.
With just about less than a minute left,
Okay,
if I could just ask you this one quick question, and that is that if you could address this, and that is that with prospective grants and budget cuts that may be looming down the road from from the federal level that may trickle all the way down through the state and local level, there's a concern that some important programs such as the arts or things of that type, arts and music, may be cut. Those are the first to go. But how do you sustain those?
Well, we've done something in terms of that. First of all, we've reinstated a number of initiatives. We've reduced the student fees for athletics and arts, which is critically important. We're also bringing more attention back to the clubs where arts and other activities like that are being focused on, so students who develop into completely rounded good citizens. We're focused on education, learning. Student achievement is the #1 issue. We have to make sure that student achievement is the #1 focus, and that we continue to make education affordable for the taxpayers of the city of Haverhill. I think we're meeting that challenge, and Frank, I want to say thank you for allowing me to be on your show. And I want to ask the voters, if I may, to consider me, Joe Bevilacqua. Although my name is the last name on the ballot, #5, I'll be the first to serve you continually.
Well put. Thanks very much,
Thank you
Joseph
very much.
Bevilacqua. Okay.
And thank you to your viewing audience.
You bet. We'll be right back. Thank you.